again, just generically, people in our area of the world where I grew up believed that fertility was highly heritable. A lot of sheep guys,
Yeah.
people select rams that come out of ewes that twin a lot, and that clearly was heritable. When you follow cow families, you have fertile cow families and you have subfertile cow families. But for the most part, when we broke down what the two most important traits were to make a female fertile, it's like a 1+1=2 equation. It's femininity, so hormonal balance, plus ease of fleshing equals fertility. So your feminine females have feminine daughters. Your masculine bulls have feminine daughters. Okay, so that's highly heritable. Your easy fleshing females, your females with high inherent body condition, have easy fleshing daughters. So that's highly heritable. So 1+1=2. It has to be highly heritable.
Right.
Because we've just proven it even mathematically.
Yeah.
And if you spend enough time around cattle, it's self-evident what fertility looks like. Now, what I'll do is I'll give the academics their due, because I think they're right when they say that fertility has low heritability. I think they're right because of the way it's measured. All the papers have been written in overmanaged cattle industries. So you can overmanage cattle to make them fertile.
Yeah.
And you just pour feed at them, So the way they've measured it, they are right in the conclusion they've come to, but that's not a natural truth.
Yeah.
That's an unnatural truth.
Yeah, I had on one episode Jordan Thomas. It's actually one of my most popular ones. I don't know if you've run into him over the years. He's the cow-calf specialist for Mizzou. He came on and talked a lot about a lot of things. It was a very interesting episode, and kind of his argument as well was the academic perspective on fertility. He said heritability is defined by essentially its impact, how much it's impacted by the environment. For example, a red hide in a high input environment versus a low input environment, the offspring are still going to be red-hided, so it's a very highly heritable trait, versus fertility can be expressed very differently based on the environment. And so because it's so, a cow being bred in a very high input system may completely fall apart in a low input and not breed back. That's a lowly heritable trait, was that argument, I think, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
and I could have misphrased him too, so I apologize to him if I did.
I do agree with that, but
Right.
that doesn't make fertility lowly heritable. But what that does is explain why the academics have found it to be lowly heritable in the way that they've measured it. It's like saying that genetically Jamaicans run faster than Irish people, but that's lowly heritable because, like, if it was 30 below and the Jamaicans had like 3 bricks in each of their hands while they were running, then the Irish could be as fast as them.
Yeah.
But that's not a natural truth. The fact of that, like, again, it comes back to self-evidence. And sorry to use all these human examples, but
No, it's good.
like sometimes self-evidence is taken for granted because it's not measured, and it's not peer reviewed. The academics seem to brush it off. I went to Japan 2 years ago and toured a whole lot of Wagyu herds and ate a lot of good beef and came back, and my observation is that almost everyone in Japan has black hair. I've got no data for that, nothing. But through self-evidence, I've been there and I've seen them. That is that and that through self-evidence. I think that the fertility, like, you've got to do some serious mental gymnastics to say, okay, but if you move this one there, where they prove our point, or when I say it's people with this philosophy, and this is an important philosophy, and I've spoken to dairy farmers about this too. Believing that fertility is highly heritable can change your profits, and I'll explain why. Getting back to where they proved our point, if you take a high input cow into a low input environment, she does perform way less in terms of her practical fertility, right?
Yes.
But if you take an extremely fertile cow in a low input environment and you take her to a high input environment, she doesn't become subfertile. She's still fertile.
Right. Yeah.